Welcome back yet again, everybody, to our commentary series covering off the history of normal Bale Players 1 world records in Diablo 2. We've had quite a journey so far, covering off Assassin world records. We've had the start of the category from Lav SR. We've had it go to Nightfall as he stepped up and took over the game, and then Teo has just entered the conversation. And now this is the last appearance of Nightfall in the world record books. We've got Nightfall coming back, taking back his record from Teo in the hardcore category, so even taking it to another level since then. This will be the last time that Nightfall appears in the category, unfortunately. Great streamer, had a very interesting community, spawned a lot. I just want to take this moment to recognize that Nightfall, great pioneer, a lot of the community that he built up around himself still managed to deliver more to the overall Diablo 2 speedrunning and general play community over the following years after he gets this world record. I know that from his community there was spawned the S-Fest mod, the maximum density mod, whereby you'd go out into the entire field and it would just be covered with enemies. Strongly recommend people check that out. Similarly, he was a pioneer in Players 8 runs. He went and did Diablo 1.0 runs. He was the first person I saw do 1.0 runs before Mr. Lamarasi followed that up on his own channel. So, you know, a lot of call-outs to Nightfall as well. But this is the last time we'll see him in the leaderboard. So if we switch over to the overall progression of where we're at, this is the record we'll be looking at today from back on the 4th of February. So only 2 days after Teo took the world record off Nightfall, he came back and strike back. Got his hardcore assassin record and took the overall leaderboard. We're still not into the realms of the sorceress, and that'll be coming up soon. So we've got Nightfall right now. Hope you enjoy. Let's see how this goes. Really keen to see how he plays it differently and what he learned from Teo. Okay, here we go. Once again, we've got the chat up, so that's going to be nice.
I got drunk at school for the first time, and my teacher sent me to the principal, but I just ran out and walked home yellow.
Again, very interesting chat.
You were a young one. Although I guess it's about the age everyone starts drinking now.
Alright, good. That's all working. Now, once again,
A little depressed country.
Nightfall, first player I have seen to drop the buckler as he comes out in. That's become a standard in Diablo 2 speedrunning. He did that in his first world record.
I am on
3 videos
SRL.
back or
Since
whatever.
I just changed the title of the stream, it's probably just going to take a minute before I show up.
So, was doing runs on Speedruns Live. That's where we saw that Lav got his start as well. I'm just covering off. So, grabbed an early experience shrine. That's going to help him get to that level 1 he really wants early in the game. And gets a super chest in a little house outside of town. So they're always guaranteed to drop quite a bit of items out of them, and that can really help you gold early game. So,
This is a night.
oh yeah, nice. Gets a diamond as well. That's going to help
I'm
his
liking
gold.
this run so far.
So as I've said many times, I'm
Glad I
still
already
going with
said
the
it twice.
early energy strats as well. You know, I haven't paid enough attention to the modern world records of Assassin to understand if that's still a thing, but that was a thing that we saw Teo do as well.
Good job,
Was go with the early investment in energy, and even as far back
my
as the
shit.
very first early segmented runs, that was a big strategy that they had too. Another chip diamond.
I'm streaming
that's
late
good gold.
today, and then I'm gonna take a nap, and then I'm gonna stream some more.
So hasn't
And
started
then
using
after a
his
few
fire
hours of
blast yet. That
streaming,
is
I'm gonna
surprising.
Get a haircut, and then I'm gonna stream some more.
I mean, it looks like he needs a haircut, but here we
That's
go.
most likely
So
tomorrow's
gets the fire blast going
time for the haircut,
against those
boys.
gargantuan beasts with the XP shrine as well. That's very nice. So gargantuan beasts in the first place give very nice XP. Then
Oh,
you
man,
multiply
we got
that
the
by the
drops.
300% factor
Got the drops.
that you get for champions, and then you multiply that by the 150% factor that you get
I should've
for
went
an
straight.
experience shrine, and killing each of them is
Oh, no, I should've
equivalent
not
of
gone
killing
straight.
5, essentially 4.5 technically, gargantuan beasts. Now he's come across yet another experience shrine. That is a killer start to the assassin run. Finds Bishibosh, but Bishibosh is lightning enchanted, so not really worth his time. Nice, gets a strangling gas potion. So we've seen so far in all the runs The runners have been using javelins against the Countess. He's picked up some javelins, but he's got strangling gas potions, and I've made the comment many times that they should be using the strangling gas potions against the Countess. Is this going to be the run where they figure it out? Who knows?
Actually got tomorrow off. It's
Nicely done.
pretty amazing.
Switches over to a dagger. Daggers have faster attack speed than a katana for the assassin, and still go on that strategy. Picks up the dagger as early as possible and plays that really well. So he knew he had to go to town to get some stuff. Waited until he got all the stuff in his previous experience shrine ran out before picking up the second experience shrine he found.
Wow.
Now, he was a little bit worried there. He said it might be Bloodraven. And that's because it was quite close to the corner. So you can see here, the exit was just there. Now, if it was in tighter, that would almost be a guaranteed burial ground. So it was a little bit close that the exit was close to the corner, but no. Oh, and still gets to rack an issue with his experience shrine. That is going to be super nice. So as I said just earlier, champions give you 300% XP. So killing one champion is as good as killing 3. Bosses, and even unique bosses like rack an issue, give 500% XP. So killing each one of those with an experience shrine, each one of those little carver dudes was worth 7.5 other regular carver dudes. So with rack an issue, he tends to spawn with about 6 to 7 minions. So by just quickly throwing in a few fire blasts there, boom, that's as good as killing, 35 to 40 other carvers. Just cruises through the experience, levels up fast. He's going to have his burst of speed very, very soon. Quickly checks the shrine to see what he's got. Now he's got underground passage here, and he's going to be forced to run out this way from the tile. So his ending tile is going to be shaped like this. Now he may have to run into it and go exit like that, but the end tile is actually going to be like capped out like that, can't go any further, and that's what we call a straight through map. So got to be pushing up. Puts in the point into Claw Mastery, so he's ready to go into Burst of Speed on the next level. Nicely planning ahead. I forgot to check what stats he put in. I'm guessing he put in Vitality at this point now that he's got decent energy to keep himself sustained. That was a key thing that we saw Teo doing in the previous run, was just making sure that he had a good mana pool so that he didn't have to go back to town as often and buy mana potions, as we've been seeing Nightfall and Lav doing previously. They spent a lot of time running back and forth across town. Now he's kind of making a gamble that it's going to come across here and then down, which seems reasonable. Like that over here, that seemed like it was likely to be a level 2 area.
And good maps.
So that's when he's just talking through the key things in the game. Monster spawns, so getting good boss packs
my back's
that you can get experience really quickly to get to level 20. You need level 20 in order to pass the Ancients quest. Shrines, so getting those experience shrines earlier, really helpful. As we said, once again, helps you level up faster, increases your chance, increases the speed that you get burst of speed, increases the speed that you can level up your Wake of Fire and just be ripping through enemies that way, as well as increasing the time, or decreasing the time it takes to get to level 20, so you can just start ignoring enemies altogether. Also, if you get skill shrines, that can also massively boost your damage output as well, and very helpful for things like act bosses like Diablo or Andario, etc. Because the +2 skills that you get from skill shrines are incredibly helpful in that regard. Nicely grabs
Switch
another
captures
experience
everything that
shrine.
I love about the internet, so I definitely wanted to be a part of it.
There we go. Love Switch.
And
this is like
so
I've been working through a lot of
so
the history of Diablo 2, and these reflections here on Twitch, I honestly don't think that the Diablo 2 speedrunning community would be anything like it is now without a platform like Twitch. Like having that live interaction and drive in the community, it just didn't exist before Twitch. There was a little bit in segmented runs.
I think the first few episodes
Perhaps
might be rough
YouTube could have done things, but
the first
yeah.
time I'm doing it, it'll be the first time Chad's doing it too, but good lord, I need to pay attention.
So just exploring the Black Marsh, he wants to find both the tower and the waypoint because he will be running the tower several times. Leaves a heavy, not heavy armor, heavy leather armor back there. Could have had 2 sockets, might have been helpful, but not really that worried about it. Could have upgraded a gem there as well, that would have been helpful.
Thank you,
I'm guessing he's not going to do the strategy where you get a helm and just put in gems to help yourself out with,
the Black Marsh
by putting in a sapphire
right
or a
it looks like everything's going to be in the
ruby
center.
to help your mana pool or life pool, but well. So he's just done a full lap of all the edges of the map, and unfortunately leaves another hard leather armor on the ground. Ooh, gets an experience
If we do
try.
anything other than players
That's nice.
1, then it's not any percent anymore. It becomes any percent, and whatever players you set it to.
There. Oh, wow,
Alright, so
that
it's cool
map
that they're
layout.
next to each other, but there's no shrines nearby.
So he's had
Which
excellent
eliminates,
shrine luck so far, but it means that now he's not going to be
essentially
picking up
what Warlock
shrines
could pace
in
on
between getting...
It's good shrines.
Oh, that was nicely managed as well. Not be getting shrines in between the waypoint and the tower, but that distance, that's going to save him a lot of time as well.
Yep, you got it.
So here we go. Now, really, I said...
I've already had a few coffees in this channel. I think you've been here before. If so, welcome back.
Nicely managed that boss pack back there. It doesn't
I
click
love
on
the
the
coffee
super chest
usernames.
either. Interesting.
If I didn't have my username, I would have a coffee username.
Yeah. So I said earlier, and I keep getting distracted as he runs along, really nicely managed on that the first minion group he came across on level 1, because they were cursed. So if he got hit, he would get cursed and lose his experience shrine. So perfectly kept that distant, picks up a nice Wraith pack. They'll give good experience as well. And yep, 2 levels into burst of speed. So you can see he's investing early in burst of speed
so
to
this
just
is an
keep him
excellent
running
run so
even
far.
faster. Pushing the vitality now. There we go. He goes the strangling gas potion. This is the first run to really know that you should be using strangling gas potions against the Countess, because you know they've known you don't use Fire Blast against her in the past, and they've been trying to supplement that with things like javelins or physical attacks. But strangling gas potions, because it's a kind of magical attack, guaranteed to hit her, and she's not super resistant against poison, so that'll help rip through her life pool while you also hit her at the same time. So this will be interesting
Kill
to
the
see.
minions before the shrine goes
Now.
away. I think I'm pretty much right at the end.
Which,
Minions.
there you go, throws the strangling gas potion to get her down while he kills the minions. That is very nice. Nicely played. You can see that one strangling gas potion has ripped through about a third of her health before he even started attacking her. Wow, those rune drops. That is amazing. Tal Eth Ral, that's 3/4 of the runes he needs. And the chest pops open, making it hard to pick them up. 3/4 of the runes he needs. So the runes he wants are Tal Eth, Tyr, and Ral. Tal Eth for the stealth speed rune, stealth rune word, as we've covered off in every single run. You want that because it gives you faster run walk, gets you cruising through the game faster, also has faster hit recovery. There you go, grabs a helm as well. Might want to put some Ral runes in that if he gets spare Ral runes, because that'll give him
I'm hoping that's not a health
additional firers. Quickly checks out the shrine over there and coming back. So he only went 2 points into burst of speed. I'm interested to see how he manages that as he continues to go on. Pumps up his strength so he can wear the belt he just bought from Chassis. That'll give him 3 slots of potions, so helps him manage his inventory even better and keep his mana sustain up without needing to go to town to buy potions off Akara. And here we are on level 2. So I didn't cover this off in the first run, but you can see now, where's my level person here? It's actually a left turn map, so as he runs in, he's forced to run this way, as I discussed earlier in the underground passage, and it ends this way. Exactly the same on level 3. He's been forced to run this way, and it'll be a left turn, and that's why, in general, you want to be hugging the left turn side on all of the tower, no matter what difficulty you're in. That's just how the game is defined to lay out these map tiles. very easy to navigate. Another nice thing about the tower is you commonly find boss packs on just about every level, so that helps the leveling strategies and boosts your level up quite a bit. Fire enchanted boss there, so in case you don't know, fire enchanted bosses, while they do fire damage to you, they are also get a 50% boost to their fire resistance.
I've never seen a Borderlands run.
So in Hell, they can be immune to fire. In Normal, it just means that these Fire Blast attacks are ridiculously weak. Nice use of those Strangling Gas Potions. He is ripping through the Countess like nobody's business. That is amazing. Eld, so he needs another 2 Eld runes to get a tier. If he wants to cube that up, let's see what he does with these runes. Still looking for that 2-socket armor, wasting a bit of time on that. This is why I was surprised he left those armors on the ground when he was running around earlier, because it could just save shopping time. Runs across to check the shrine, gets an experience shrine. Very nice. And you'll notice every time he saves and quits, he casts his
I wonder if it has a
burst of speed to just make sure, even in town, he is running as fast as possible. So 2 Countess runs, continuing to push through. Doesn't really... Oh, here we go. We've got a cold enchanted pack, so we want to keep his distance here. And he's really doing the most to make the most of those Strangling Gas Potions. Still only 2 points in burst of speed. Very nice managing the distance. And he's staying his tipsy right now. Like, to get a world record while inebriated, I gotta say I'm impressed.
Minions?
Really making the most of his experience, trying going out of his way to find
Notice I'm
those
using the gas
bosses.
potions.
There you go, he's calling it out.
Just to get
Use the
this
gas
done quicker.
potions. Very nice.
Yeah, it's a
Very
low
nice.
chance.
So chat's just telling him that tier rune is the lowest chance to drop. That surprises me. I would have thought it would be L rune, to be honest, but... So why do we run Countess? Well, first of all, obviously, because we want to get runes. So we can have those killer rune words, stealth for the faster run walk, faster hit recovery, faster cast rate as well for other characters, and leaf, tier rel, inner staff for +3 to fire skills. Those +3 to fire skills work on any character class, so something as obscure as the corpse explosion on the necromancer, because it deals fire damage, gets +3 to skills from a leaf staff. Picks up a nice couple of rings there. And the thing about the Countess is, she will roll for 5 or 6 items to drop, and every time that those item slots get filled with no drop, they will instead get replaced with a roll for a special drop for a rune. So you're very incredibly likely, especially when playing Players 1 setting, to get a rune drop from her. Up to 3. I can't believe he's gotten 3 rune drops from her every single time in this run. There you go. Comes back to kill those champions. Probably not worth his time for champion archers, but you know what? Why not? So, as you can see, she drops a lot of runes, and she's also the earliest place in the game that will drop runes. The next place that drops runes is a much lower chance to drop, and it's zombies in Catacombs level 3. Sells the Eld rune. That might hurt.
Holy shit. Holy mother of God.
He's very happy with that magic damage reduced, because with integer magic damage reduced, that will help him manage from the damage per frame attacks of Inferno in Act 3 and Act 4. So the Shamans in Act 3 can just shred your health, similar with the like Fire Beasts, the Demons, Venom Lords in Act 4. So any chance to reduce fire damage, super important in terms of just keeping yourself sustained, and he'll be super happy with that, because Nightfall only actually runs hardcore.
Still gonna do one more.
So this will be a no death run. Yeah, as I said, he sold that Eld rune, which may cost him, but you know, he gets the world record, so I'm trusting that on this 4th run, he will get the tier rune, maybe on the next run, and help him get to the leaf staff that he desperately needs. No experience shrine this time, ditching the shields so he doesn't get stuck wasting frames blocking and potentially get stun locked. Still doesn't open that chest. That is really surprising to me. Because, you know, those super chests can drop quite good items. There's a good chance of dropping rares out of there. He does want good rings in order to boost his fire resistance at this stage when we're playing it safe.
Tokyo?
Similar with amulets, so there we go. And it's honestly, for an assassin, not much time to click a chest to open it. I guess the risk is you just get enticed by gear. There we go. So starting to reinvest back into Burst of Speed now that he's got his base damage up enough to still be hurting the Countess while she's getting poisoned and dealing damage with the fire blasts.
Holy shit.
Very nice.
The minions over here, right?
So getting blocked in the door, minions there. Cursed, just wants to keep his distance. Very nice. I gotta say, this is some solid play. Gets the ghost minions, the second boss pack here on level 5. It's quite common that you will get that. Unfortunately, not enough distance to avoid that Frost Nova, which will slow him down.
Alright, now if she did drop
Grabs
a
a
route,
ground
that would be
shell.
perfect. If she gave me a route and a towel, that would be absolute god.
You don't need a towel, man. He desperately wants double Ral for his helm, so he gets the fire res. What's he gonna get? Towel L.
At least.
Well, that's not what he wanted, so it looks like he's gonna be doing 5 Countess
Still
runs.
gonna get level 12.
Oh, he does
for,
have a tier. I missed him dropping the
armor.
tier earlier.
2-socketed armor.
How did I see that?
Perfect.
Finally gets the armor. So probably cumulatively checking chassis every single time's cost him about 20 seconds. Does the stealth bug as he runs ahead to the outer cloister. Very nice. That was a thing we saw.
That remains.
We saw Lav do in the very first speedrun to make sure that it was active as long as possible. So even though he's only level 11 right now, and it doesn't actually work, there's a bug in the game where for about 90 seconds or until you change zone using a waypoint or go down through downstairs or something like that, say in the catacombs, you will still get the faster run walk benefit from stealth. Now, also, because it's hardcore, he doesn't have to worry about dying and losing his body, so it just like frees up 2 inventory slots as well. So there's that nice secondary benefit, but mostly he wants to do stealth bug. He didn't stealth bug earlier because, as I said, you lose it as soon as you go downstairs. So when he was in the tower, he's going downstairs a lot, so he'd lose that stealth bug. Nicely reads the layout there, so it's a straight through in the outer cloister when that is so close, when the waypoint is close to a cross in the middle of the area. If instead it was there and the cross, and there was like boxes, I've drawn that, it'd be a left turn. And if it is the cross is there and the waypoint's down here, it's actually a right turn on the outer cloister. So reads that nicely, comes in here. Fighting an archer champion group, probably not worth his time. Like, those bone archers aren't great experience, only 300%, and you spend a lot of time on them. Like, they've just got quite a big health pool. So, yeah, you're better off just finding an actual boss pack and killing them. Quickly gets to the jail level 1. Jail level 1, similarly, it's a straight through map, just like the underground passage, so he's been forced to run out that way. He'll be finding an exit on this side of the map now. Same thing with level 2, and I'll show you that when it comes out. Now, it's not always going to be this way. It's all dependent on the first tile you spawn in.
There's no hints. I usually go
So if he was forced to run out this way, in that first tile, the end would be shaped like that, and that would be straight through. It's all relative to the tile you spawn on. Unfortunately, I can't fault him for that. Like, tries to run all the way across to this wall and runs into the waypoint instead. A bit of a dead end for him. Bit of a strange layout, but yeah, so he's got a middle map where it kind of spawned in the middle, that exit.
The crouching blow worked pretty well in Diablo. Sort of. I tried it on the Ancients, it didn't go too well.
So here we go, level 2, he'll be going straight across again. Once again, forced to run this way. Funny that they both spawned in exactly the same direction. That is...
a chance to activate Crushing Blow would have been like...
That's a very, very nice... level 2. Alright, level 3, now we can talk about it. So he's been forced to run this way, and level 3 is a left turn map. So once again, the exit will be here. Oh, bricks his stuff. So he hasn't quite taken the full hint from Teo, optimizing his inventory space by putting Tear and Well into the stuff.
Itself.
But
Sorry,
if he only put the
jail
Tear
level
rune in, like now he's not getting the mana per kill. And without that mana per kill until he hits level 19, it's going to be just harder to sustain his mana. Like he's going to have to go back to town and buy more potions, or worry about gold more, or spend more time even just picking up mana potions off the ground.
As far as the bug, to
And
my knowledge, it only works for a few seconds.
that is the big thing that I personally saw Teo make a difference in the previous run that he did, in the previous world record.
It either just stops itself, or if you block, or if you change your gear. I don't know, it's unstable. It's very unstable.
So continuing to push vitality, and this is the key thing.
So
For anyone wanting to play Diablo, if you're leveling up characters, in general, you want to just have enough strength, only just barely enough strength to wear the latest gear you got, like 25 strength for a belt, for example, as he did earlier.
Yeah, you need to be a level 19 for Leaf.
And then you just want to put everything else into vitality generally. Maybe a little bit in energy in the early game just to help yourself sustain. Oh, nice. Gets the champion pack in here. How's he going? Yeah, there we go. He's being a bit more sparing with his casts of Wake of Fire, and that's another thing that we saw Teo do yesterday. Not yesterday, in the previous run. I don't know why I keep saying yesterday. And gets a relatively quick exit on Catacombs level 2. I didn't make my normal comment around you should run Catacombs level 2 clockwise, so I'll just throw it out here now. Catacombs level 1 and level 3, completely random. So you can see, as I said, he's managing his Wake of Fires a lot better. And this was the thing we saw Teo do. So he's only throwing out, say, 2 or 3 and quite sparingly. Previously in the world records that Nightfall had held, he was throwing them out like giving out candy. He'd throw 5 or 6 down in every single room he got to, and then just constantly be throwing that down.
Oh my god.
There we go, gets the nice exit.
You are so beautiful.
Very nice exit.
Catacombs gave me a lot of hell yesterday. So I guess it's being nice now.
Whereas now, yeah, he's only throwing down 2. And the key thing about or 2 or 3, the key thing about that is there is actually a restriction on how often Wake of Fire will trigger a hit on an enemy. There's like a defined, I think it's about a 1 second gap between hits from Wake of Fire. So throwing more down isn't really helpful. What you want to be doing is throwing Wake of Fire and then throwing... There we go. Throwing Wake of Fire, then throwing Fire Blasts. And he's still using casting town portals from his hotkey, which means he has to actually cast it. Like you'll notice the assassin does this to cast the town portal, whereas if he would just open his inventory and right-clicked the tome, there would be no casting animations, and that is a lot faster. Very nice. Get some hit recovery boots. I noticed this time was the first time he's actually picked up the gems, the gem drops from Andariel, and that's actually just really good gold. Like in the previous runs, these guys have been basically running out of gold
beer seems to be working.
Bale and needing to worry about that, so that's...
Drink beer, get world record pace run.
Actually some solid learning there. And gets the early exit in the Rocky Waste. Wow. So it's a big map out here. It's about all these Act 2 maps. Square, say that's town, and he's come up and come across the early exit. The other spots it could be are there, or there. And he has just hit the lottery with that one. Now let's see how he runs this. He's running very close to the edges. Comes down to a boss pack. I still think he's getting too close to the boss packs when he's fighting them. Like with Wake of Fire, you can be quite a distance away in laying your traps, and he's getting right up in their face when he lays a trap, which in hardcore you're just playing it extra risky.
Oh, please.
So running right against the edges there.
Where's the stairs?
Not ideal.
Okay, I'm gonna hope it's over here.
Well, he wanted the stairs.
Oh my god.
And he gets the exit. Very nice. So if he ran a little bit away from those edges, he'd be more likely to see the waypoint on the map and could take the waypoint, run back to
There's
the
beetles
Halls of
in
the
the
Dead.
far oasis.
And he gets beetles in the Far Oasis. As we've said every single time, you want beetles in the Far Oasis. They give amazing experience, and they have quite low life. You can see that it's taking about 3 hits from a Wake of Fire, even 1 in that particular case, to kill a beetle. So they die super fast, they give amazing experience, and as long as you can dodge those lightning bolts, you're sweet. There you go, this is nice. He's playing it a lot better by keeping distance from the monsters while he lays those traps. Might just be because the beetles are lightning enchanted and he's trying to keep his distance there, but that is something you should try and internalize no matter which monster he's fighting.
Dude, I don't even care if it takes forever in the far oasis. There's beetles here. I need all this.
Wow. Finds the maggot layer, finds the waypoint right next to it. This is an astonishingly good run, I gotta say. No wonder it got world record. And so soon after he lost it as well. Little bit of a fumble with his inventory skills, but you know, it happens to the best of us. And if you're a little bit tipsy while you're doing it, well, all the more. That was a weird frame drop, but okay. So here in the Halls of the Dead, he's run in and the map's laid out like this. If you think of it as an upside down T, you can think of it as a left turn map. So the exit is going to be shaped like this. If you think of it like a regular T, it's technically a right turn map. So it's always on this side, basically. You can see this time, the layout he's run into is like that. If it's an inverted T, left side, this is where the exit tile is going to be.
It's not usually a dead end, but they give me some minions, so I'm not going to complain.
So there you go, hits a dead end unfortunately. So when I say left turn, it could be all the way up here and to the left as well. Or technically it could be 3 rights make a left and all the way back here. And that could be the exit in there. Well, we'll see how it goes. Kind of a long map, unfortunately. He's had really good map luck so far. He's absolutely shredding his enemies and experience. Picks up a mana shrine. Usually mana shrine's pretty useless, but in the case of speedruns, where you want to make sure you're barely ever shopping for potions, incredibly helpful. So there we go. That's actually pretty nice. Just leaves the ring on the ground.
Oh, this shrine's going to be beautiful.
Very nice. And grabs the lightning enchant shrine just to give him that extra lightning resistance as he goes into the Far Oasis to fight all those beetles. There you go. Grabs a Ral rune, exactly as I said, for some fire resistance in his helm. And pushing back to the Far Oasis. Now he wants to run around here to find more beetles to get that wasted probably a second there casting traps at those silly little birds.
In fact, while I have
The
this
raptors,
shrine, I'm
but
going to go ahead and just do this. I'm just going to do this.
Very nice. So coming into the maggot layer, right turn map. He's been forced to run out that way of the first tile and immediately gets the exit down there. Now this time on level 2, similar thing. Right turn, it's going to be this way. Gets beetles in the way. Mildly annoying here in the maggot layer, but much better than actually finding the sand maggots in here because they can just block your way and take forever to die, whereas scarabs, with their very low life pools, they just die.
Get closer to my level 17.
Now he's saying he wants to get up to level 17 so he can have his stealth properly working when he has the Duriel fight. The extra bit of faster run walk as well as the faster hit recovery help enormously in that fight. So whenever Duriel hits you and you get stun locked, the faster you get out of that animation, the faster you can run away from him again and start throwing down traps. Similar, the faster you can run away from him after you throw a trap, the better it is. Now on level 3 here, so I said level 1 and level 2 were right turn maps.
Okay,
level 3 is always a
into the
straight
top
map
and
and it is
being under
always
level,
that
will
direction.
destroy the run.
Doesn't pick up the rare heavy gloves, that surprised me there. Even after he got hit with cold damage. Whew. Anyway. Takes a town portal, back to town. I've been criticizing these runs in the past because they haven't been save and quitting enough, and I still stand by that. They're basically only save and quitting after like in between Countess runs. But in this case, I can't really blame him for it, since he has those beetles spawning in the Far Oasis and he really wants to make the most of them. Now, he could take a gamble and just say, when I reload the game, there's going to be beetles again.
Sure.
And there'll even likely be boss packs of beetles. But can't really fault him for it, especially when he's going to be running in a different direction to the way he has already.
That'd be awesome.
So hoping for Beetle Burst. Beetle Burst is a super unique boss monster. So always guaranteed to spawn around a specific tile in the map. So, you know, if you ever have Diablo clone spawn, you can go to the spot where Beetle Burst would spawn and Diablo clone will replace him. Beetle Burst, because he's a guaranteed spawn, it's a very nice farming spot. He always has 3 minions. So that's 4 beetles all up, so killing them is as good as killing 20 beetles otherwise. As well as, because he's a super unique monster, he will drop 2 magic items, potentially 2 rares, or 1 magic, 1 rare, maybe even a unique.
Okay, you got plenty of juice.
There we go. So watch Beetle Burst here. He'll drop 2 magic items plus 4 potions. That's very nice. So excellent experience.
Sword.
And he's going to get that crystal sword.
Alright, that was kind of slow.
Yep. A little bit slow, but that's okay. Now, can see here, he's still doing the exact same potion strategy as he did in previous runs, where he's rocking a rejuvenation potion in his 4th potion slot, which is going to make it slower in terms of buying potions from vendors, as well as just clogging up inventory space, and probably meaning that he's going to prioritize picking up rejuvenation potions more than you see in other runners, especially in softcore.
Probably should have went up the ladder.
Hardcore, I can't fault him for wanting a rejuve. Like, there can be some clutch moments, but most of the time these days, you would not find it. Now here's another super unique monster. We've got Dark Elder, always spawns in the Lost City around this kind of cross layout. You can see there, it's like buildings in a cross.
Yeah.
With 2 like fire towers here and here. Dark Elder will always spawn there with about 3 or 4 minions.
Yeah.
Also a very nice farming location. Gives good experience, but he's got a bigger health pool than Beetle Burst.
And then to me, I feel like it's usually the Lost City.
Now, he actually did do the right thing there. This is the first time I've seen someone actually check this side in the Lost City for the fast exit. Maybe Teo did it as well, actually. I'd have to go back and watch that video again. But yeah, he unfortunately gets the 3rd way in the Lost City, so that's a bit of a time sink, having to run around. You can lose a lot of time in those big open field areas. And here we go. Laid out like this. Oh, nice. So it's going to be, yet again, a left turn to that inverted T in the Claw Viper Temple. Same thing will hold true for the tombs. Tal Rash's tombs, if you take a left turn for an inverted T, you either get to a golden chest or you get to Duriel's lair. Now, we know the way to Duriel's lair, to the true tomb of Tal Rasha, so that's not going to be a problem for this run. But yeah. And just to answer the question, since I was talking over it in the chat there, someone asked how does he put potions in the belt without just manually dragging them. You can just hold shift and then click and they'll go down into shift and left click and they'll go into your belt. Now, unfortunately, he has kind of explored this way looking for an exit there, but it wasn't the case. So now he is coming up and hoping for a break to the left out here. He has been burnt in a previous run by having to do a wraparound map. No, actually, that was Teo, wasn't it? But yeah, with an experienced shrine, probably not the worst if he can get some good boss groups as he runs through.
My first speedrun was about 2 hours and 20 minutes.
So, there we go. Gets the up and around. Fang Skin here, yet another super unique boss. We'll drop 2 magic items. Saw, with the mana sustain mana strategy he's doing, he did actually have to run back and pick up some mana potions earlier. This is another beautiful thing about targeting boss monsters, because they'll drop 4 potions all the time. That minimizes the amount of time you need to actually go to town and buy potions off vendors. So he's actually done quite well in terms of not having to go to vendors. That's a significant improvement above and beyond what his previous runs were doing. Just picking it up when he has to go through town, basically. Still doing the weird strategy where he keeps his cube
Okay, there's 3
in the stash
remaining
instead of
RNG
just in his
factories
inventory, but
that can fuck up this run. There's the Arcane Sanctuary.
so 3
There's the Great
factors.
Marsh, and there's the sewers, and that's pretty much it.
So he's just said the 3 big risks to the future of the run are the Arcane Sanctuary,
Got the gear.
where you don't
Just
know
missing
which
one
way it
round.
goes.
They got a lot of you.
He said the Great Marsh, so in Act 3 we'll talk about it more, but you can actually skip the entire Great Marsh section potentially, depending on your map spawn. And then sewers, we'll talk about it when we get there,
But as long as I'm
because you
clear
can
on
spend a
those
lot
3
of time
things,
running
we're
around
gonna be
trying to
good.
find sewers level 2 in Act 3 as well. Wasting his time casting there.
This Act 2 has been
like
far
half a
superior
second.
than my PV.
It's absolutely smashing the
I think
personal
I'm just
best.
a little bit behind on levels.
And here we go, just cruising through the palace. Will he even bother trying to kill Fire Eye? I don't know. So Fire Eye is another super unique monster. That's not him. Who spawns Fire Enchanted, with a few minions, can be good for guaranteed experience. But because he's Fire Enchanted, it is not very good on the Assassin to kill him. There we go, picking up the rejuves. He's got a lot of rejuves. That is
Not a problem.
This is a ridiculous amount of rejuves. Like I said, his focus on rejuves is probably actually costing him time. So here we go, Arcane Sanctuary. Starts on the top left, is actually going the smart way this time, taking the open plains route. Complete random chance as to which direction it's going to be in the Arcane Sanctuary. I've noticed with Lav and Nightfall, they seem to religiously go to the top left first, rather than particularly choosing a direction based on ease of running. And that might be because back then they thought there was like a slight bias towards it being top left. Generally what you see runners do these days is prioritize going this way in order to make it ease of killing enemies, because essentially these Wake of Fires, while they do amazing damage, they don't really work on stairs. And this particular direction, with these open plains layouts, do not have any stairs, so it's really useful. Jeepers, he's getting a lot of good gold drops, so that is helping him a lot. Even dropped a rune back there, the tier rune that he would have needed earlier. So when I say good gold drops, that heavy armor there, the scale mail, because it's an armor that looks like it's made of metal, it will be worth, you know, a couple of grand of gold. So that's much better than spending time picking up gold off the ground. Doesn't get the first way, that's rough. Back to town. Here we go. So it's gone 5 Fire Blast, then I think it's 3 into Burst of Speed. And then the rest into, it's at level 17. So he's got his stealth active now. That's very nice, actually. You can see him just zooming now. So you'll see here, if he tries to fight, yeah, this Wake of Fire is going to be awful on those stairs, because you can see it's not really going across there. So he really needs to lean on his Fire Blast, which is why it's still worth time investing points into Fire Blast, and why he went the straightway map before, unless I'm mistaken and they back in these days thought there was a bias towards the top left in the Arcane Sanctuary, which, to be clear, there is no bias in any direction. Second tier rune, wow. So yeah, Arcane Sanctuary, 25% chance in every direction, basically no matter what. There's no real statistical relationships between any of the earlier maps and the direction in the Arcane Sanctuary. If you want to look into it, you can go to Mr. Lama SC's Discord. You should be able to find that on his Twitch channel, and there's a channel in that Discord called Map Homework, and people have looked, and there's just no solid way of predicting the direction in the Arcane Sanctuary. So is he going to get the second way? We've seen the last few times they've gotten second ways. I don't think this is it. Yeah. So this is going to be the worst world record for Arcane Sanctuary directions so far, because all the rest of them have had second ways. This is the first third way. I think even Teo got a first way. Oh yeah, probably should have laid traps across before he went through that. But yeah. Picks up the rejuve, but not the mana potion. Once again, probably prioritizing rejuves too much. As he runs through the arcane. Just getting blocked by those blood clans. There you go, now he's starting to think ahead and actually cast ahead a bit, which is smart. Yet another rune drop. These rune drops are crazy. Like, I know you're generally likely to drop runes in the Arcane Sanctuary, but to see this many, like normally you might see 2, and then 2 more, and another one! Wow. Yeah, you might see 2 more out in like the Flaya jungle or something, but this is crazy.
Yeah, less I have to kill in the future. Okay.
Here we go. Gets the 3rd way.
Except this guy.
And getting blocked by the Ghoul Lord. Oof. Here we go. So he'll check his quest. Sees that it's the circle and knows that the circle is off to the left. All the simple shapes except for the triangle are over on the left-hand side. So we'll just run straight to the correct tomb and be looking for that left turn direction there. He's already got level 17, so doesn't have to really worry about levels too much here in Act 2. Probably going to be banking on getting them more in Act 3. We saw earlier that people were happy to run around different directions in Tal Rush's tomb to just get more levels, but like I say, he's already level 17. He's level 17 and a half, in fact, so pretty sweet on that. So once again, inverted T, left turn, and finds Beetles, so that's going to help him massively level, and that's probably going to increase his DPS against Duriel very nicely if he can get this last quarter of a level before he gets to Duriel. Unfortunately, finds champion zombies instead of champion beetles. Champion beetles actually spawn with minions as well, so that gives you even more power, or experience as it were. This is a dead end, man, you're going the wrong way. Okay, so basically for anyone who doesn't know, if it's a double cross like that, it's a dead end. Simple as that. If it's double cross, there's a specific direction. If it's a double cross like that direction, there can actually be an exit tile here. So just when it's going that way, you know that it is not worth your time continuing to run. It's similar if it's going this way.
Okay, I think it's going to be up here.
So he's coming around here and banking on it being this direction. He's going to get his level 18. Very nice. Powers up his Wake of Fire. That's going to help him rip through Duriel's health. Quite a few enemies in his way, unfortunately. This is quite a long tomb after some fast other maps.
Okay, pretty sure it's right here.
Ooh, boy. There we go. Yeah, very nice. So it's doing the little hack where you put the staff in the orifice and then as it goes through the whole animation in the tomb of going chung 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 and then drilling open Duriel's chamber door, you just go back to town to buy thawing potions for extra cold resistance. You can see there his cold resistance was actually blue 50. So by drinking thawing potions, it increases your cold resistance by 50 points. And I think it also increases the cap on cold experience by 10 points. So if you already had 50 points, it could actually be 85 points. But anyway, that helps him big time with the Duriel fight because it means he's not getting hurt as much by that cold damage from the Holy Freeze. Just laying a couple of traps there. Yeah, this is much better. This is a much better fight than previously. Seems like the community, or maybe just taking a cue from Teo. I don't know.
But I've learned how to get it killing him.
Yeah, only laying a couple of traps and then moving on. Previously, he'd like lay 5, get hit a couple of times by Duriel and was chewing through his potions, his healing potions, his mana potions, everything, and even had to go back to town during the fight with Duriel. This time,
and a mercenary.
He barely went through anything.
Players 8.
Very nicely timed it.
Greetings, Jaren.
Could even be he picked it up from his own runs when he's been doing these Players 8 runs that he's been mentioning in the comments so far.
Okay, I gotta do this so I can pick up stuff.
So So just clearing out his inventory, doing a bit of management there. You can see how much of his investment in rejuves is just taking up space in his inventory and making it difficult to manage. So coming out here to the Spider Forest. Now each of these jungle areas has 3 little offshoots in it. What you're banking on for RNG, and he didn't even mention it there, was the first little offshoot area that you explore will have the dungeon you want. So he wants to find the Spider Cavern first.
Jade statue.
Not a waypoint and not a dead end. Nicely just ditches the Jade figurine. It's not worth his time. We saw Lav spending time getting the Jade figurine quest. Even in the old segmented runs they did it as well. It's just not worth your time. Here we go. It is worth your time in hell runs, but not in these. So there we go. Unlucky, has not gotten the first way. It is just incorrectly exploring this area. It was smart to try and check the right and top side, but shouldn't have bothered with the left side. So think of that time that he spent running up here. Where's my mouse? Running all the way up there and then all the way back. Like, that's about a minute time loss that you don't really realize as you're playing the game. So this is why you want to be lucky enough to just find the Spider Cavern first try. And basically all the world records runs so far have had that as well. And some of them have even had Flayer Dungeon first try as well.
I've got more than enough juves now, so I'm just
So
not
what he's
even
banking
worried
on
about picking them
as
up.
well, there you go. He's finally figured out he's got enough rejuves and doesn't need to spend
I don't know
time
if we
picking
should
them up.
cross the bridge.
Still doesn't quite know his way around Act 3 maps. What is banking on here? So say that's a zone. At tile 3, each zone is 6 long. Tile 5 or tile 6. There can be an exit to the Great Marsh, Flayer Jungle in either of these. And he wants it to be, you know, Flayer Jungle, FJ, right here. Because otherwise, what he ends up doing is running into GM and then having to go through that to get to the Flayer Jungle. And that's just a big time sink, man. Like, you can see already, he's probably on about tile 5-ish in the Spider Forest already, and he's spent a lot of time in here. Like, found the waypoint as well in that second little area, so he's not having good Act 3 maps for sure. Gone back down here to check out that tile 5 as the river breaks off to see what's he got here. I suspect it's going to be Great Marsh.
It's gonna be in here.
Ooh. Worth his time growing here. I suspect that that map will actually connect through over to this side, and he'll
A good
find
amount of new Diablo 2 speedrunners lately. It's pretty cool.
this is going to be
I have a guide in my profile
the
on how to run this game,
Spider Cavern. There we go.
if you're interested.
So that'll have Zark the Burning in here, and that'll help him get to level 19 because Zark spawns with quite a lot of minions. He's got the staff there. Now, it was worth his time picking up that staff because similar to heavy armors, they will sell for a lot of gold. But
Go to alcohol.
these staves selling for a lot of gold is contingent on them having plus to skills. And I didn't see what was on that staff, so it might be actually wasting space for him, and he should have picked up that ring mail instead. And I've been forgetting to check how much gold he has as well, actually. So now he's going to have to run back. Is he going to check the right-hand side?
Cat, not right now.
Oh, it did connect through. There you go. I was wrong. That's prone to happen, to be honest. Okay, so he's going to continue running off here. This is on the 5th side. Is this going to be the Flayer Jungle? No, Great Marsh. He gets Marsh, so he doesn't get the Marsh skip to get straight through the Flayer Jungle. He might bank on it being still up that way. No, he doesn't. He just pushes on and just gambles that the Marsh is going to be it. Why are you going in that zone, man? You do not need to be in here. What are you doing? This is just a poor decision. Wow, what a bad decision.
Please be Flayer. Please be Flayer. Flayer, Flayer.
Could be. With that many players around, it could be the Flayer Jungle.
No?
No.
Okay. Just a little shortcut.
I don't know, that was really a shortcut, man, but okay. The staff just seemed to be 3-socketed and didn't have plus to skills. He definitely should have picked up that ring mail earlier in the Spider Cavern. So yeah, he's been hit hard so far in these Act 3 maps, and that's pulling him back big time. To be honest, I suspect he could have probably held off against Teo's next challenge to the world record had he gotten better maps.
Wait,
There you go. He's got about
those are not
40k
potions I
gold.
wanted. Just wasted money.
So he's not too bad on money, but did have to waste time going back to town to get those potions. So that's going to hurt his time as well. And yep. Ooh, and it looks like it's a long Great Marsh as well. So similar to the Spider Forest, the
I don't like
fork
this Great
off
Marsh.
can either come off the third tile pair, the
Starting to
fifth
get
tile
kind
pair,
of,
or the sixth
frayed.
tile pair of the Great Marsh. And this is just... Oh, it's looking more and more likely that it's going to be the sixth tile, and it'll be a straight through from the Great Marsh all the way to the Flare Jungle up here, which is the worst. You actually want Flare Jungle coming off down here instead, or at second best up here. So that hurts. Yeah, so it was a straight through. Finally gets to the Flare Jungle. I mean, this is actually why burst of speed on Assassin's quite nice, because you can just manage that and just be zooming through as best as possible. He's got his leaf active now and hasn't switched over. He's still running the dagger, so that's probably a mistake. Picks up a greater mana potion, that'll help him. Is he gonna get... Doesn't look like this is it. Yeah. So just gets a bit of a weavy one. Oh no, actually it is. It's the wraparound map with the Gidbin down here. So yeah, down here. Gidbin... No, he doesn't.
Surprised
Okay,
this was a dead
I got
one.
psyched out twice. Twice!
Leaf time, yeah.
There you go. Now he's realised that Leaf is active and switches over, drops his dagger. Now the key thing here is he wants it in a short staff because he could have picked up a long staff earlier with 2 sockets, but because the assassin's traps are laid based on attack speed rather than cast speed, it actually makes a difference what weapon base he has, and that's why he was using a dagger instead, because dagger has an incredibly fast attack frames speed for the assassin, so he's really fast with his fire blast and his trap laying in general. And now that he's got leaf active with a short staff, that also has quite fast attack speed rather than long staffs, so that's why you want to get a short staff for your leaf base. And you can see it's barely impacted his trap laying speed whatsoever. So coming up on the second area in the Flare Jungle. Now he hasn't had great density, and he hasn't gotten the blue guys with big knives either. So that hurts a bit. We've seen in the previous world records they've been able to level up very quickly by having a good map, good monster spawns in the Flare Jungle. Now, since he's already level 19.5, it's not a big deal, but he could be easily at level 2. Oh no, he does have the blue guys with big knives. I guess it's just not a super dense map.
It's pretty late.
Oh, and unfortunately didn't realise that he could have run through up here, because that's actually a connection point down there. So ran into the area, then out, and then around, which, like, that whole space is just wasted time, probably a 30-second wasted time of running as well. So Act 3 jungle maps have not been kind to Nightfall here in this run, as kind as Act 1 and Act 2 maps were. I guess his Tal Rash's tomb was a bit off too. So coming through Lower Kurast, once again he seems to be doing the same thing that all these runners were doing, which is checking the top right hand side to try and get through to the Kurast Bazaar, and lucks out. There you go, gets it first try. Bit of a gamble as to whether it's going to be on the right or left side. We know in later speedruns they'll actually figure out some ties between the first spawning Act 1 map and this Lower Kurast map, which guarantees it'll be on the top left side. So back in these days they all seem to be favouring the bottom right side for the entrance to the Kurast Bazaar, and it's only just paid off in this one now. So he's desperately looking for a waypoint, but he's running far too close to the wall in the Kurast Bazaar to actually find one, because he wants to get a waypoint to go back to the Flayer Jungle,
I had a
Flayer
craft
Dungeon.
beer that I was drinking.
Ooh, and lucks out with that location of the waypoint. So now he can... Is he going to do the Gidbin quest? No, he's just happy with the rings he has. Okay. Minor time save there, and he's amazing on experience, so it probably doesn't really matter that much. Once again, left turn here in the Flayer Dungeon, so he's come in like that. This will be the exit just here that he's running into as he took a left. Same thing on level 2, down here, left turn as he was running, and the exit will be like this. I think this map is actually slightly further over, so I'll have to keep running through the zones. Not wasting time, killing enemies, very wise. And then level 3, there's 6 different layouts, and he seems to have gotten a little bit lost on this one. I believe this one, you sort of go in and around there, and you get to it. So yeah, still Flayer Dungeon level 3 seems to be throwing these runners at this stage. Don't fully have they don't seem to have fully memorized the Flayer Dungeon level 3 maps. Yep, there we go. So yeah, you can see, where am I? Here in the middle, that's where the golden chest is, and you needed to do basically a full lap to get around. And this is actually the longest map, I believe, in the Flayer Dungeon, so that's unfortunate as well. These Act 3 maps are really hurting him. Now we'll go up to Arpakurast, down the sewers. He'll be running this clockwise, very nice, so he runs around here. The reason you want to run it clockwise is... You might even run into it first. No.
The sewers level
There's
3
a
is
big
the last
hint
RNG thing that can really fuck over the run.
As to what direction sewers level 2 is going to be. What the heck is this sewers, man? He came in on the top side and he had to explore this far up? Wow.
Nice.
Actually gets level 2 pretty quickly. So you want to run it clockwise because you can find a golden chest. And from the golden chest tile, if the golden chest tile was there, it's a right turn into the end tile. So if you find the golden chest first, you know which sort of hint area to go explore to find level 2. Quickly comes here, picks up the heavy armor this time. Still doesn't have
0 lightning resistance.
the cube in his inventory. What are you doing, man? Puts a mana potion in, that's going to annoy him.
I've got to watch my shit with Mephisto really badly.
So yeah, just observing his resistances. He hasn't had great gear. That was a great scepter. He probably wanted to pick that up, and that's why he hesitated and ran back towards it, because great scepters can roll with plus to paladin skills, and plus to skills sells for big gold, and he'll be wanting that gold as he comes into the Diablo and Bale fight, where he will be just chewing through potions. So running up to the council here. Now, in single player, you only actually need to kill one member of the council, and then just pick up the flail and transmute it in the Herodric cube. You don't have to kill all the members, and then you can just shatter the, whatchamacallit here, the compelling orb. And he just ditches his cube because he doesn't need it anymore. He's not going to need it in Act 4 or 5, and frankly it just junks up his inventory. Much better to just have it out of the way so he can fill up his inventory more efficiently with potions or picking up heavy armors, all that kind of stuff. So Endurance of Hate, level 1, similar to what we've talked about before. Left turn on level 1. Level 2 will be a straight through. The left turn would get you to, so that's pretty nice. You can see that pretty nicely there. Left turn on level 2 would get you to the waypoint, so instead he wants a tile that ends like this. So it's a straight through map on Endurance of Hate level 2. Unlucky doesn't get it there on the straight through. That looks like this little one over here looks like that'd be, this one here looks like it'd be the waypoint. So probably should have gone right, and then it'll be up over here. It's my instincts. Now you can see, also learnt again, he's not bothering trying to fight the boss packs anymore. He's practically at level 20. Not worth his time fighting any monsters whatsoever anymore. I mean, maybe it'd be worth his time killing one just so he gets the bonus point in Wake of Fire at this point. But we'll get the skill shrine. That is gonna be nice. Nice. Nicely traps Maffa Dragon Hand in the corner there, so he can't come around and heal Mephisto during this fight. That +2 to skills on his skill shrine is going to be so helpful in just ripping through Mephisto's health super efficiently. Now he's doing his best to just keep distance so he doesn't get hit by lightning. Oh no, and Maffa has come around. He needs to kill Maffa so Maffa doesn't heal Mephisto. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. That could extend the fight with Maffa around. Oh, he's trapped Maffa up in the corner again and lured Mephisto away. Very nice. Very nice. Alright, I don't know if that was intentional or not, but he played it very well regardless. So that +2 to skills, that's increasing his DPS quite well on Wake of Fire. He's not really using his Fire Blast at this point. Get the belt, man. Yeah, that'll give him some fire res, I think, is on the belts. And Splint Mail is worth a lot of gold. Once again, armor that looks like it's made of metal, great gold.
Hello.
The time has come to shatter Diablo's soul stone, or whatever it is. Mephisto's soul stone.
Not here. What do you need?
Alright, just a bit of inventory management. Yep, upgrade on the belt, gets rid of the scepter. Unfortunately, it didn't have plus to skill, so it didn't have great gold from it, but still pretty good. He's coming out with about 55,000 gold, when previously when I've been seeing these runners come into Act 4, they've been having about 35 to 40,000, so that's helpful. Out here on the outer steps, he's hoping that, like say that things like laid out like that, he's run in. He wants the exit to be here. It can also be down here or over here. I don't think it's going to be there. He's going to be having to run down and check these two. So once again, a long map here. So after some great early maps, these long maps are hurting him in the second half of the game.
I've got enough juice that the extra route shouldn't hurt me.
So in previous runs, they haven't really been running with Ral, or previous world records at least, they haven't really been running with Ral runes in their helms, but it does help a lot. So 30 fire resistance, plus the magic damage reduced he got on that ring, plus the 3 magic damage reduced on his stealth armor. That will actually make it significantly safer to be fighting Infector in the Chaos Sanctuary. So that can be a real risky part, especially on
like 710
on these hardcore runs. Now once again, he's checked the full side here in the Plains of Despair and not found an exit. Second way at least, so that wasn't the worst, but still a big time sink in terms of running across the full map. How are his City of the Damned going to go? Because he's got to find the way, the stairs down to the River of Flame in the City of the Damned, and that can just spawn anywhere on the map. It's not on an edge, so that's hard. It's not like there's not specific like square tiles laid out that you can really read and understand that it's going to be relative to anywhere. It's just like complete luck of the draw where the City of the Damned exit to the River of Flame is. So just a lot of running around. As you can see here, he's spending quite a bit of time. The previous world records have been much luckier in finding it much sooner. So this just goes to show how strong his Act 2 really was. Like you can see over here, these times, these splits, he was 7 minutes ahead at that Duriel kill. So his Act 2 was amazing. His Act 1 was pretty good, even though he had to do the Countess 5 times. And there we go, finally gets the exit there. So honestly, it could have been worse, but you know, there you go. Grabs the skill shrine, quickly recasts his burst of speed with that additional 2 points that he gets from the skill shrine. That'll give him another 6% faster run walk, multiplied by your 25%. So that's that. I don't know, it's roughly 7% faster run walk from that burst of speed right now due to the skill shrine. So that will, it's always worth picking them up on the assassin and immediately casting burst of speed. Even when he's not really trying to kill enemies, that burst of speed is worth it without the benefits from damage per second, because as soon as he gets to the Chaos Sanctuary, that skill shrine is going to be cursed off him. Gets backed into a corner here as he gets blocked. There you go. And, you know, the damage per second actually pays off for him there. because you can get enemies out of the way and stop them blocking. He should be throwing fire blasts here instead of Wake of Fires when they were on that bridge, because Wake of Fires don't really work. Running up, this should be the exit tile right now. There we go. Back to town to stock up on potions again, presumably. So you can just observe right here now. Greater healing potions cost 250 gold. Okay, keep that in mind, because when he gets to Act 5, if you buy the exact same potions, greater healing potions from Mala, without killing Shenk the Overseer, they'll cost 500 gold. And that's a mistake we've been seeing the runners make time and time again. Leaves a breastplate. Well, I guess he didn't have any room in his inventory there. So there was quite good money armor back there. And he left it on the ground, which is why I was surprised. But now seeing the state of his inventory, I'm not surprised anymore.
It's really a shame.
Oh well. He's doing the risky strat of not grabbing the waypoint entirely accidentally from City of the Damned. So, you know what? That's like a 1 second time save. Take that. Just has to bank on actually getting through Chaos in a single shot. Yep, gets blocked. Should just run around the other way at this point. See if there's not enemies blocking this way. At least they're only wraiths. He should be able to weave through here, or they will die fairly quickly. Oh no, now he's got blocked in from both sides. He's just copping it. I mean, I can't fault the way he ran that, but that was just unfortunate as well. Probably still casted Wake of Fire a little bit too often there. Like 4 casts, he probably only needed 3 for covering the zone, but still definitely better than what he was doing previously, managing his mana a lot better, and has come across to spawn Infector first. And this was a thing that we saw was kind of an innovation with Nightfall in his first world record, coming to do Infector first rather than the other, Grand Vizier of Chaos or anything like that. So this way you can kill Infector as you run through to go and spawn Lord Desace and, kill the rest of the enemies. Because you're casting Wake of Fire and it's kind of a set and forget skill, does area of effect damage and that kind of thing.
Alongside shorter monsters.
Then
Strats. Just basically what the
yeah, you can just cast them and he'll chase after you and take damage while you kill everything else. So you don't have to like one-on-one these bosses, especially with the assassin. It's a great advantage that she has. Additionally, Infector is like 70% fire resistant, so can take quite a bit of time to get through his health. Now stocking up on the rejuves, just in case he gets like decrepified and stuck in place with Infector. Getting those greater healing potions again, and only going light mana potions. This is an advantage he's gotten and really learned his lessons from previously. He had previously been spending a lot of his money on greater mana potions, which just filled up his mana too fast and cost a boatload of gold. So his gold management is a lot better in this game over earlier items. Now, I've made the observation a few times that I'm surprised that he's not really using...
I can't carry anymore.
Yeah, fuck it. Whatever.
You don't need the rejuve anyway, man. Not using Fire Blast often enough, but in that circumstance where Infector is there chasing you and is extra fast with his Inferno Breath, I can't fault him for just sort of running around in circles, because the risk of dying is just so great. Quite a full Chaos, but you can just see why there is the advantage of the Assassin. Like, she just rips through the hordes of hell like nobody's business. That +3 to skills on Leaf, the amazing overpoweredness of her own innate skills as well. Like, it's a thing to behold. And this is why, for a very long time, the Assassin was the fastest speedrun. Like, this is the world record. This is the fastest you could get through the game. Alright, now he's cleared out all the enemies there. He's coming back to Act 3 to get an Ice Mercenary. Now, this is a thing that isn't really active anymore, but it's fun to see back in those days. Goes with the level 18 Ice Mercenary. Now, in the previous run, there was a very cryptic comment that supposedly Lav had calculated that level 17 Ice Mercenaries did more damage than level 18, and I'm just not sure what was behind that. Anyway, in this case, maybe that's been made obsolete. That was just an incorrect observation. We shall see. Just clearing out.
Just glacial, you idiots.
And just got to sit here and wait. Now, what he could be doing as well is just, you know, trying to whack Grand Vizier with his staff. Like, if he spent all that time clicking on him, wouldn't have done huge damage, but it would have done a little bit and could have saved, you know, a second. Every second counts in a Diablo speedrun. As much as you think that RNG is going to wipe everything out, you know, if you can save a second, save a second. Gets Cleglaws, and that's very nice. Give him a bit of IAS, a bit of knockback that he doesn't need, but, you know, whatever. I think they've got cold res on them. What do Cleglaws have? Cleglaws gloves. So while he fights Diablo here, there you go. One hit from the Fire Nova kills his mercenary. Cleglaws, pincers, chain gloves. Slows target by 25%. Knockback. Okay, so they don't even give increased attack speed. That was completely useless, putting on those chain gloves. Oh well. So just keeping his distance from Diablo, throwing a couple of Fire Blasts in there when he gets a spare second. I'm gonna say, like, Teo managed this fight better. Just straight up. Like, Teo was doing the mix between Fire Blasts a lot better. Oh, here we go. Now Nightfall's kind of getting it. He's casting his Wake of Fires too often again. I think he's getting freaked out by the power of Diablo, which is forcing him to cast his Wake of Fires too often. In the previous run by Teo, the previous world record, he'd just cast 2 or 3 maybe, and then immediately into Fire Blasts, and then give it until the Wake of Fires were almost completely expended before casting any more. Whereas here, Nightfall is just casting them far too frequently. He's going to be chewing through his mana potions more than he needs to, and he's just wasting frames, putting himself in danger every time he does that little Wake of Fire cast. But here we go, we're at the end. Diablo will die any second now. There we go. Circle to be worth good money. Probably wants to drop that partisan, drop the crossbow, that was equally worthwhile dropping. To pick up the plate mail, that'll be excellent gold as well. Now check out here, he's going to sell these items. Didn't even look at the circlet. Didn't even look at it, it could have been great. And yeah, look at that, look at those potions. He should not be stocking up here at Mala, because they are double the cost until he beats Shank the Overseer. So kind of just banking on him having a whole bunch of gold to carry him through. Let's see if that burns him, as it has burnt just about everyone else except for Teo.
You'll pay for your
when it comes to your gold in the end fight here. Now I'm going to get more quiet, as I do in every single world record run. There you go, nice. That's actually going to help him zoom across the game.
Tyler decides not to.
Gonna get quiet in Act 5 just because you kind of run out of things to say. It's a bit boring here. There's not that much happens. Like, pretty much you just got to run through the maps. Like, there's a little bit of map tips I'll give you when we get to the caves, but really it's just a matter of running through the maps and getting to the end. He doesn't need to kill any enemies. Experience shrines aren't going to help him. Skill shrines can help, as we just saw, but oh, getting blocked in here, that's not nice. So this is the thing you notice with speedrunners a lot, and I've actually taken it to it myself. You can hear him clicking, just going, you know, sort of. Is that him clicking, or is it actually the assassin running? It's that regular that I suspect it's the assassin running. But I'll give a tip to anyone anyway. You want to be just regularly clicking your way around the screen rather than click and holding, because gosh, I'll tell you what, your forearm gets really, really tired if you play Diablo for extended lengths of time and you use the click and hold to navigate methodology. Here we go. So he's up in the frigid highlands. He wants to be sort of hugging. Apologies, my dog's going crazy because the posties here. Hugging the wall because you get those nice gaps. He's run past it already, which means you're less likely to need to use your skills to actually break down walls to run through. And yep, see, just like that little gap there. If he'd gone through the middle, there'd likely be a door in his way. So sticking to the wall helps a lot here in the frigid highlands as well as in the frozen tundra. Huh, there you go. I never knew that Cleglaw's Brace, the full set, gives you 35% chance of crushing blow. So yeah, they're just long maps. It's boring. There's not really much happening. Sorry. At least it's got some epic music though. There you go. So there's the gap that you see, and that's much more common on the side. Gosh, they're long maps, aren't they? Unfortunately, gets the boars blocking his ways. Burst of speed just ran out accidentally. Oh, you've run past the exit, man. There you go. Accidentally cast a couple of Wake of Fires instead. Here we go. Crystalline Passage. Left turn map again. The entrance tile was shaped like that. He wants to be going across this way to find an exit tile shaped like that. So he will be hugging this wall over here somewhere to try and find that. We've seen in previous runs, doesn't always work out for the best. But nope, gets a pretty relatively quick exit. Not the quickest, but probably the second quickest you could hope for there. Glacial Trail, similar thing. Entrance was shaped like that. Needs a left turn for a tile shaped like that to exit. Gets it very nicely. And Frozen Tundra, here we go. So we'll be hugging the wall yet again. Yep, just running on up.
I feel bad ignoring questions, but I'll answer all the questions in the world after this.
Nicely weaving his way through the enemies there. That's pretty nice. So you can see over here, those Act 4 maps. Where am I? Over here. Act 4 maps and Act 3 maps. He lost time on both Act 3 and Act 4. So he lost a bit over 3 minutes in Act 3 with those awful jungle maps. Here we go. Ancient's Way yet again. Left turn. He's been forced to run this way. The exit tile will be over here just to reinforce that every single time. Skill Shrine, that's going to help him coming into the Ancients. Very nice. And he lost another minute, or 20 seconds I guess, in Act 4 by having to do those long run around maps out in the plains and looking for this exit from City of the Damned. That's the wrong way, mate. So this will probably be it down here somewhere. There we go. Purple exit. Still has the skill shrine ready for the Ancients. Probably cast your burst of speed right now. Ooh. Okay, it's a bunch of town portals. You can. Oh man. Yeah, hurts my feelings seeing you do that. Cast burst of speed once more. Cast burst of speed before your skill shrine runs out. No. Anyway, the extra damage that he gets from his Wake of Fire on this is going to be helping a lot with that skill shrine. Oh, look at how quick he got through. Yeah, that's nice. Ripped through Madoc like nobody's business.
Okay, Okay, he's losing HP. We're good.
So he was just a little bit worried there because the Ancients do spawn with gear and often can spawn with fire resistance gear. And since Talik is naturally, or is it Korlik, is naturally fire resistant, you can just end up losing time, big time. Comes up to the stairs to stand here, so Talik will stop doing Whirlwind. Both Talik and Korlik will be absolutely standing on him and can be hit by Fire Blasts at the same time as Wake of Fires. He's probably still casting his Wake of Fires slightly too often. The trouble with this strategy is you do have to use a lot of potions and just tank a lot of hits. But he's making the most of the rejuves he had. Oh, yeah. So Talik has clearly spawned with fire resistance gear this time. That is, yeah, not the greatest. He is losing health, but very, very
It's
slowly.
ridiculous. He has a lot of fire resistance. He should be dead. They always die at the same time, so it kind of sucks. I have to spend double the time killing this guy.
Yeah. So what's this? Probably
So
a
focus on traps.
20, 30 second time loss here. So yeah, by standing up there, normally like that's a really great way of doing it. You just got to keep an eye on your potions, and when you're running low on gold, wow, he's actually got 81,000 gold. Now he's sweet on gold. I don't know what I'm complaining about. Yeah, he's just going to be chewing through gold by taking this strategy, and probably needs to play it a bit
So I
safer
lose
now.
2 minutes because of this. 2 minutes that I needed. Because of you, Talik. I should have reset. I saw Talik's health.
I need mana.
So all that advantage from the skill shrine pretty much completely wiped out by this fire resistant Talik. That hurts. That hurts big time. Understandably frustrated. Understandably so. So he's just saying to himself he should have reset when he first came to the Ancients and noticed that Talik was taking not very much damage at all. Simply because
Yes.
if he cast a town portal, the Ancients would reset and all the gear would change, be completely re-randomized, and that can avoid that fire resistant issue. Look at all those broken traps. Like, yeah, that just speaks to how big a problem it was. Got to repair his armor because now he's not getting the benefits from his stealth. And comes in to the Worldstone Keep. Another skill shrine. That's very nice. Let's see what he's got. Nicely doesn't click the cold shrine, so he doesn't lose his skill shrine. Let's see if he remembers to do a late skill shrine cast of the burst of speed again this time. Nice. That's not too bad for Worldstone Keep level 1. Probably should have checked against that wall up the top.
It's so annoying. He's now going to do this.
What's he got here? Is this going to be the waypoint? It is. So it's a right turn from the waypoint. So exit tile could be over here. Has missed the little sub-optimization he could have done by dropping a town portal at the start. So similar to catacombs and sewers, you want to be running it clockwise. So you run into the waypoint first or the exit. Oh, there you go. That actually didn't end up too bad for him at all. And if you run into the waypoint first, you get a great hint as to which direction the exit is going to be. Nicely, these Worldstone Keep maps also have, this is a dead end. It's that double T shape that I talked about earlier from the level 2 tombs. So yeah, I've just got to be pushing ahead. This is, yeah. Unfortunate that you had all that time suck. But yeah, that red shade on your maps is very helpful for quickly finding the exit points in these in the Worldstone Keep. Much easier than, you know, the standard layouts that you get in the tombs or in catacombs and all that kind of stuff. So he's doing his best to clear out this area before he gets to the Throne of Destruction, because, like the actual throne room, because he's going to be dragging monsters out and he doesn't want to be running into monsters and like getting trapped between the Bale waves and the monsters that he failed to kill earlier, and then getting killed, right? So in the throne room, say the throne room is shaped like this. There's like little fire pits here as well as a pillar. As soon as you get the minions past that line there, they're as good as dead to Bale. And by luring the minions past that line and then running back in and leaving them behind that line still, Bale thinks that you have killed the full wave and will spawn the next wave. So that's what he's sort of setting up to do here by killing those monsters outside of it. He's gone back and revived his mercenary because Colenso the Annihilator is immune to fire, just like Grand Vizier of Chaos. That's why he had to pick up this mercenary earlier in Act 4. And is standing right next to Colenso, so Colenso melee attacks him while his mercenary...
Dude, this is the worst Act 3 mercenary I've ever hired in my life. Should I use Glacial?
So he's very annoyed at the Act 3 mercenary, and he's kind of keeps saying you should be using Glacial. Maybe that's the factor in why level 17 Act 3 mercenaries are better than level 18, because they might be using a different balance of skill to do big damage. I can't carry anymore. I just can't carry it. Alright. Still spending his time killing wave 3 most of the time. These days you would see runners just dragging these guys. Grabs a U-wand, could have skills on it. Good gold. I don't think he's got a problem with gold at all though. Sets himself to walk rather than run, so that way he's not going to absolutely lose all the monsters chasing him, and they will very likely follow him quite nicely. So then he can then switch to running and run around this pillar here. So he'll switch to running about now and just zoom up past, leaving all those monsters behind. Don't do it, man. Should have just killed him in the throne. We'll run into the throne and then run back and kill him so Bale starts his laugh and it will spawn immediately. There you go, that's what you want to do. Nice. Oof. Yeah, these guys still take a long time to kill, don't they? There you go.
Oh, shit, they were already spawned. I didn't know that.
So similar thing, he wants to lure these guys out. And kind of trap them. Gets Lister, so you got to get the boss, because otherwise...
Lister.
Come on, Lister. Because if he stays behind, he will likely have, like... The minions will stay with him. Unique monster minions are kind of leashed to their leader, and therefore, you know, they won't follow you as nicely, basically, and he wouldn't be able to trick them to staying behind that line as easily. What's he doing? Yeah, he's probably doing exactly the same problem as against Diablo. He's slowing himself down, which is good compared to previous runs where he'd normally go womp 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 womp. But probably still casting those Wake of Fires a little too frequently. Not bad though, not bad. Certainly much less gold problems this time. Gosh, this is going to be a long Bale fight if he's if it's 131 right now, knowing what the time ends up being. So once again, he seems to have gone a heavier damage focus than burst of speed, so that should help him out with these boss fights. I think he went 4 points burst of speed, rather than 5 like Teo went. He's gone the increased cold resistance. Just chewing through his gold here at Mala. Stands nicely against the wall there, so if he gets hit by one of Bale's Wake of Colds, he can handle it pretty well. The trouble is, by being in those close quarters, he's more likely to get mana burn, so nicely goes back and gets his distance again after luring the clone up to him. There you go, there's that mana burn that just hurts.
This is like my least favorite spot for Bale to be, is at the end of this place. I would really like for him to come down here. But this Bale is come on.
One thing he didn't do is keep in mind the skill shrines that he'd come across and go back to them. So that's kind of a missed opportunity because he could be having a skill shrine coming into Bale here. And that'd help his damage big time. But very likely for it to get cursed off immediately, so maybe not that big a deal. You will note as well, I forgot to mention this, he didn't do the Den of Evil quest.
Literally the worst situation.
So no need for a respec on the Assassin because she's so powerful. The modern speedrun world record actually does use a respec to fully spec into damage at this point. But it's like a very tight benefit in terms of the damage. But you can see here, like the length of this Bale fight, any increased damage per second you can get is actually going to add up fairly well. Just because Bale's health pool is so enormous. So what's the gear review while I'm doing this? He had a magic damage reduce ring. I think he had a resistance ring. He had Cleglor's gloves, which did absolutely nothing for him. Like if he actually went up and stabbed Bale right now, it'd be pretty handy. He had 10 faster hit recovery, which does get him over a breakpoint, and his faster hit recovery frames from those boots. Stealth and leaf, as per normal. Didn't have an amulet. So there you go. 134, 39. Very happy with that.
Holy
What a run.
Motherfucking hell.
What a run.
We did it, Rude! We got it!
Hey, the cat made an
135,
appearance.
man!
I forgot about the cat. There you go.
And I thought tonight was failure after failure.
What a celebration. Worth it. And love chat going off. It's always satisfying with that.
Holy crap.
There you go. Just bask in the glory, man.
Well,
Bask
I'm
in the
just going to
glory.
mention this for the sake that, you know, obviously this is going to be highlighted, but okay, so before this run, I had 15 attempts and I never made it past the Countess because I kept dying. And then this just happened. I died 15 times. I was like, I can't fucking play Diablo 2 tonight. So I got a beer and I drank this. So I'd like to say thank you, Stone Smoked Porter with vanilla bean, a limited
right.
edition,
There we go.
for giving me some confidence. And thank you, chat. If you guys weren't here, I would have not done this. Holy.
All right, that'll do us. Thank you so much, everyone, for sticking around. Thank you, Nightfall, for what was a fantastic run. I mean, what great time. So he ended up basically keeping his Act 5 was as good as he had ever done. It was just lost that time in Act 3 and Act 4. So what a run. What a time. I'll see you next time as we continue through the journey of Diablo 2 World Record History.